Arrived in Bogotá yesterday, and we're going to the Salt Cathedral today. So we headed down into the mine, nearly 200 meters below the surface, deep into the hill of Zipa, the name of the most important indigenous chief. This place is known as the first wonder of Colombia. The entire mountain dome is made of salt, so the walls, floor, everything. To build it, 250,000 tons of rock salt had to be extracted. This mine is the largest deposit of rock salt in the world. The white salt is because it has been exposed to water. The walls, which are gray and black, are also all rock salt. These are the tunnels that house the 14 stations of the cross, all carved by the miners themselves out of salt. Each one has a symbolic representation of the last journey of Jesus, and each one has an altar and a cross carved out of the salt. This halite, or rock salt mine, has been used since the 5th century BC. This is called the dome. The lower part, rustic and imperfect, symbolizes the earthly. The upper part symbolizes the divine, the celestial, and the spiritual. Here is the balcony overlooking the largest underground cross and largest cross carved out of salt in the world, in one of the 3 naves below. The huge naves represent the birth, life, and death of Jesus. This is actually a functioning church which receives up to 3,000 people on Sundays. Some of the statues, like this angel, are carved out of sandstone because you can't get this amount of detail carving with salt. These doors are actually replicas of the doors of St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City. This is the baptismal center. These 4 large cylindric columns represent the 4 evangelists, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. This is a replica of Michelangelo's Creation of Adam painting in the Sistine Chapel. The 3 naves are connected by these narrow tunnels through the salt. Buy everything from coffee and food to diamond rings down here. Emerald rings, apparently. That's a lot of gold. It's real. Whoa. There are several museums down here inside the salt mine, and this one is a representation of an emerald mine. Apparently, most of the world's emeralds come from Colombia, an estimated 70 to 95% of them. Bullfighting ring. Down below, you can see the commercial area, complete with snack and coffee shops and many different souvenir stores. Reflecting the ceiling down here. This is actually a huge pool of salty water which creates a perfect mirror. It's only 10 centimeters deep, but it looks like you're looking down into a huge deep cave as it reflects the ceiling. That's crazy. And artwork hand-carved into the salt walls. There was even a musical projection show onto the big cross.
Going on the miner's route.
This was a fun little extra tour we did where we were forced to feel our way through narrow tunnels in the pitch black, as the miners would have done to preserve their headlamp batteries. We got a chance to try our hand at mining. This would have been our salary if we were actual miners. They paid them in salt. A canary was brought into the mine to make sure the oxygen level was good. If the canary died, you'd better get out quick. You can see the water dripping here to make a tiny white salt stalactite-stalagmite pillar. Another museum down there was the Tutankhamun Museum, with lots of replicas of things from King Tut's tomb. And this was Terry's favorite part. This is an underground spa complete with all kinds of possible salt treatments and massages. Whoa. Another museum with salt sculptures. This is a coffee shop and one of many shopping areas. Replica of the mine shaft. We gotta take a train to get out of here because we're 2 football fields below the surface. I had no idea we were that deep. And finally we got on Thomas the train to drive us out and back to the surface. A cross section of the salt dome, we were in the 3rd level below, and a view of the town it overlooks. It was a very unique and interesting experience.